1 week left in the transfer window, just 1 week. And Newcastle United have already done some wonderful business, as we've seen with the additions that they've brought in the summer. And we thought that might be it. Or we thought that a defender might be one last throw of the dice for Eddie Howe. However, it seems like reports from Italy are saying that we are very much interested in Napoli winger Lozano. So we'll take a look at that. Emmanuel Petit has come out with some very strange things in his time. But this time he sees that Arsenal should be making a late bid for Alexander Isak because of Nketiah's poor start to the season, despite the fact he's only played 2 games. Turnercook is heading north of the border to go to St Johnstone on a season-long loan deal. And our own mucker Steve Bruce, he's back again, guys, talking about Caicedo and Joe Linton as well as a few other things. So we'll touch on that as well. This is the Daily News. Hi everybody, my name is Paul and welcome back to the Toon Review YouTube channel, where today is the Daily News Show. And as usual, guys, before we get stuck into these stories, please do, if you enjoyed today's show, give it the thumbs up. Keep us up there in the YouTube search results. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, why not subscribe? We're heading towards 23,000 now. It's a fantastic community to come and join. It is free to do so. So hit that subscribe button and of course the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. Right, let's take a look at this first story. A possible late bid for Lozano. Now, this has come from Italy, so you know, make of it what you will. But there is a number of stories come out this morning from different sources talking about this. Hirving Lozano, of course, a winger for Napoli. Now, he is currently now in his last year of his contract. Napoli are wanting to cash in on him. They've made that plain and simple that they want to cash in on this player. We all thought that Newcastle United, if they were going to sign anybody else by the end of the season, it would be possibly a right-sided centre-back. Now, that doesn't seem to be the case. The links to centre-backs are just not in the news at all for Newcastle United at the minute, but this guy is. Now, look, he's a very, very good player, this guy. There's no doubt about it. Lozano, he's won things with Napoli. He's a fantastic footballer. But the fact he's in his last year of his contract, the reports are suggesting that it wouldn't be an overinflated price for him because obviously Napoli are wanting to cash in on him. They don't want to lose him for nothing next season. So it's possible that they could cash in on him at an underinflated price, which has alerted Newcastle United to the situation. Now, obviously, the right side of midfield, we've talked about that a lot. Does Anthony Gordon move across there? Miggy's, of course, there. And, of course, Jacob Murphy. But Eddie has proved over this summer, or Newcastle United as a whole have proved over this summer, they are willing to bring in numerous players in various different positions to have that squad depth and things like that. For me, a right side of midfielder would be a very, very good thing to have because Miggy, when he's on his game, he's on it, isn't he? He really is. But sometimes he's missing from games. It takes the pressure off Miggy a little bit as well, you know, to not have to play every single game. You know, we can mix and match a bit now on both flanks, which would be fantastic. Lozano, as we know, scores goals, puts crosses in. He's a hard worker. He's a very good footballer. And if Newcastle United were to bring him in, you know, it's still 10 out of 10 for the transfer window as far as I'm concerned. Even if we didn't bring Lozano in, I think it's been a wonderful window, the players that we've already signed. But this would probably take us to the next level. He's Champions League experience. He's won Serie A with Napoli. There's a lot of experience comes with Lozano. So I think it'd be a wonderful signing. However, transfer fee, there is no talk of a transfer fee yet. I've seen some reports banding around about, you know, 36 to 46 million. Now, whether Newcastle United go and buy him or it's another loan with an obligation to buy to get round FFP and things like that, or whether it's just a straightforward loan deal for a year because he becomes a free agent, of course, next summer. And Newcastle United could put a stipulation in that they have first bite of the cherry to speak to him. So there's various different ways I think Newcastle United could do this. Now, the road they go down, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. If it comes to fruition, fair enough. This is just reports coming in from Italy. There's nothing over here suggesting it at the moment, apart from a couple of sites. We just have to wait. I think he'd be a brilliant signing. But let me know in the comments, is Lozano somebody that you would really love to see in a black and white shirt, or should we really be concentrating on that right centre-back? Let me know in the comments. So Emmanuel Petit over the years has come out with some very strange things. Of course, very, very good midfielder for Arsenal, won the lot with them and a fantastic footballer. But he's come out and said in a recent interview that Newcastle United's Alexander Isak should be a target for Arsenal before this transfer window ends. He's very concerned at the way that Eddie Nketiah has started the season, despite the fact there's only 2 games gone in the Premier League, and he believes that the man to replace him should be Alexander Isak. Now, my message to Mr. Petit is, where the hell are Arsenal going to get the money to buy somebody of Alexander Isak's stature? You know, we paid £60 million for him a year ago, and he has been absolutely superb. You've seen how he's played. He scores goals. He creates goals. He's got amazing skills on the ball. And we signed him for a particular reason, because we need him. And we're not going to sell him just to recuperate our money. Let's be honest. We're not going to want £60 million, even if we were contemplating selling Isak. You're going to burn at least 80, 90 million pounds, if not more. I mean, tell me in the comments below how much you think Isak is worth now after his first season at Newcastle. This guy's going to be a superstar for us and for years to come. And he's going to, be a superstar on the international stage as well, isn't he? I think Emmanuel Petit needs to read between the lines here. You know, Nketiah is a very, very good player. He's got a lot going for him. Is he Arsenal's answer up front? I don't think he is, to be quite honest. As an outsider looking in at Arsenal, I don't think Nketiah is the answer. But to go a very late bid for Alexander Isak leaves Newcastle in no situation at all. Because if you try and buy Isak from us and we crazily sold him, hypothetically, then it doesn't leave us any time to bring in a quality striker, and that's left us with Callum Wilson for all the games this season. It's mind-boggling that Emmanuel Petit has tried to say this as if, you know, Newcastle United are going to say, yeah, Arsenal, one of our major rivals at the top of the Premier League, let's sell them our very best striker and one of the best strikers in the Football League at the moment. You know, where are we going to do that in a million bloody years? Absolutely no chance. So I think Emmanuel Petit has been, just eating too many snails because it's gone to his head. I mean, there's no way on earth Arsenal, I don't think, could afford Alexander Isak for a start. And Newcastle United wouldn't even dare sell him before the end of the transfer window. Because, as I say, we got no time to replace him. And why on earth would we look to sell him in the first place? It just doesn't make any sense at all. So, Emmanuel, I think that you should be advising Arsenal maybe to look elsewhere than one of your competitors in the Premier League, because it's just not going to happen, sunshine. Never in a million years will that happen. So, good luck to finding another striker, but it's certainly not going to be Alexander Isak. But let me know in the comments, how much do you think Isak is worth now? Because, quite frankly, I haven't got a clue. You could be talking over 100 million, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Turnercook is one of the very, very positives that has come out of the pre-season campaign. Of course, we saw him against Gateshead, scored a goal in that game as well. Looked really good along with Lewis Miley, Parkinson, etc. Looked really, really good. Murphy in defence, of course. So we've got some really, really good youngsters coming through. Now, Turnercook has moved to St Johnstone in the Scottish Premier League on a loan deal for the season. I think this is a great move for him. Yes, we haven't exactly had a lot of success with Newcastle United players going off to Scotland. Garang Kuol at Hearts last year was a perfect example. That didn't really go well at all. However, Turnercook is very excited about this chance. He's 19-year-old. He's very much in Eddie Howe's plans. And Eddie obviously wants him to get first-team football. Now, whatever you think of Scottish football, for a 19-year-old to go up there and play, whether you think it's as competitive as the Premier League or not, which it isn't, but it is a very good learning curve for players like Turnercook. And I think moving up there is a very good option for him. He'll get first-team football up there and he will learn a lot. You know, he could make his debut against Celtic at the weekend. No bigger team to start your career off on loan at St Johnstone than a game against the champions. Celtic haven't hit the road too well this season. You know, they've already lost the game to Kilmarnock. It's a good opportunity for him, and it's a really, really good opportunity for him to shine. But he has gone on loan, so bear in mind it's only a loan for the rest of the season. He will be back next summer, and I'm sure he'll want to come back next summer and push for a first-team place. And finally, he is back, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Steve Bruce. We haven't spoken about him for quite some time, and I don't really want to speak about him again, but I feel like I have to because of what he said on the latest podcast that he's done. Now, he's gone on to Sam Allardyce's, of course, another previous manager of Newcastle United. And he was talking about, before he took the job, Sam warned him, Kenny Dalglish warned him, and Graham Souness warned him all about how difficult and probably not to take the job. Of course, he took it. That's history now. But, when you look at the three managers that advised him not to take the job, how bad they were at Newcastle United. Kenny Dalglish, the man that replaced Kevin Keegan, and the man that dismantled literally everything King Kev did, sold most of our top players and brought in absolute dross. I mean, you're talking dross here. Those of you that can't remember, just go back and look at Kenny Dalglish's transfers while he was in charge of Newcastle United, and you will see exactly what I am talking about. Absolute dross. And, then, of course, Graham Souness. I mean, wow. I mean, you're talking about... I'm not even going to go there. Sam Allardyce, I'm not even going to go there either. They were hopeless as managers. And these are the managers that still have a little sort of chip on the shoulder about Newcastle United, which is why they won't say that they want them to do very well. They won't be very complimentary about them. Sam Allardyce is still very, very bitter about what happened to him. But it boils down to one thing with all these managers, Bruce included. You were rubbish. You didn't do the job. You were terrible. And then you talk about signing Caicedo for £4.5 million. That never happened. Now, whatever the reasons for it not happening, of course, we had Mike Ashley as owner who didn't want to spend any money, etc., etc. Had we got Caicedo, fair enough. Do I think he's £115 million worth of footballer right now? Absolutely not. And he looked pretty much a lot less than that when he came on at West Ham last week. And then he talks about Joe Linton, saying that when Joe Linton came to the club, he knew he wasn't an out-and-out goal scorer. Yet the man continued to play him as the out-and-out striker. So you have to question that. If Steve Bruce is coming out now and saying, well, hang on a minute, I didn't really think, I watched him for Hoffenheim and I saw him play on the left. So why didn't you try and change a few things round, Steve, instead of plonking him, giving him the number 9 shirt as well? Let's not forget that. Giving him the number 9 shirt and then causing the fans to really think, what the hell have we signed here in Joe Linton, who has now turned into an absolute hero at Newcastle United, my favourite player in the squad at the minute, because he's worked his arse off under Eddie Howe. These bitter and twisted ex-managers of ours will all come out and say, oh, this happened or that happened, but they never take responsibility for their own actions. Dalglish never took responsibility. Souness, never. Allardyce, certainly not. Steve Bruce, when have you ever heard Steve Bruce come out and say, it was my fault? I got this decision wrong or I got that decision wrong. If anything, Eddie Howe came in and changed our fortunes around by actually coaching the players, by actually putting them into training, working them hard. But Steve Bruce never comes out and says, you know what, I got it wrong. I should have done certain things different. I didn't, and I regret that now. I do regret that. But he never comes out and says anything like that. I don't know what that would do for him in returns of getting any respect from the fans by saying he got things wrong. But just come out and admit that you weren't good enough to do the job. Trying to stay relevant by saying, I realised Joe Linton wasn't an out-and-out goal scorer, but I continued to play him there. Yeah, because you were wrong. Simple fact. You were wrong to do that. Eddie Howe took a big chance, dropping him back in midfield. It worked a treat. He's worked with Joe Linton in that position, and now look where Big Joe is. Head and shoulders above a lot of midfielders in this Premier League now. So I just think it's disappointing, isn't it? I mean, I'm not going to rant and bitch on about Steve Bruce anymore because, I've shouted on about him for years now, but I'm not going to do it now. I just wanted to discuss the points that the major points that he discussed, and certainly talking about the other three managers warning us not to take the job. Yeah, because the other three managers were absolutely terrible, Steve, and so were you. So whether he's wanting to stay relevant in the football world, I don't know, but they just can't let Newcastle United get on with things. They've got to try and stay there and stay relevant in the background, which makes me laugh. It really does, because they were so bad that they cannot come out and admit they were so bad because whatever reason, just come out and say, I got certain decisions wrong which affected the performance on the pitch. Just for once, it would be nice to hear that. But let me know what you think anyway, guys. That is the end of the daily news. If you have enjoyed it, of course, please do remember to hit that thumbs up and keep us in the search results up on YouTube. And of course, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, please do subscribe. We are heading towards 23,000. With your help, we'll get there sooner rather than later. Lots more live shows, etc. There's some big changes coming up to the channel as well, which I'll go through with you in the next few weeks. And of course, don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will let you know when we upload or we go live. Check our Patreon out, guys, for some extra podcasts away from the camera. You can become a member of the Toon Review by hitting the join button just underneath. But as usual, put all your comments. I'll love to read all your comments about what you think of the latest stories, and I will reply to some if they're needed. But you'll know I've read it because I always check the heart button to say that, yeah, love your comment. Thank you for watching the show. But in the meantime, guys, if you're watching this on Thursday, tonight at 7 p.m, we have the match review against Liverpool. And we'll be joined by a good friend of the channel, Doug from the Dugout Football channel. He's a Liverpool fan, and he'll be giving us the Liverpool swing of things ahead of the game on Sunday. So join us at 7 for that. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, guys, and we'll see you soon. Take care.